This is the only way to experience it thus far, so the public is getting a first look at the IONIQ 9 before some of our media presence, and this thing is quick. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Cory, and this is the new 2026 Hyundai IONIQ 9. This is a vehicle that in its concept form debuted here 3 years ago as the IONIQ 7 concept. Now we are seeing what a production version of this big 3-row electric vehicle looks like, and I'm going to take you on a quick tour and a ride along. Stay tuned. Oh yes, gearheads, we're doing something a little bit different with this one. A huge thanks to Hyundai for having me out here to California to check these out. I was actually at the world premiere event of this vehicle, well, last night, where these things were absolutely swarmed, but now I'm gonna get a little more one-on-one time with this one. This is a US spec version versus the Korean spec version I showed you in that video. So we've got traditional rear view mirrors, things like that, but I do want to spend just a little more extra time here with this one. We've got the parametric pixel lighting up front, your multi-lens array of lights down here. Very cool lighting elements here. You can actually, much like on Kia EV9, which shares a platform with this, but we don't talk about that too much, you can purchase different lighting patterns up here in this element, which I think is a little hokey to me, but you sound off in the comments on what you think of that and the customization across these vehicles. Another thing I really want to talk about on this one is just the sleek shape of it. It is very smooth, and with those rear view camera mirrors that I showed you on the Korean spec model at the reveal event, the lowest coefficient of drag on any of the big 3-row SUVs. So lots going on here with aerodynamic work. That is the big reason why you would want rear view cameras instead of traditional mirrors down the side. But I really do like the look of it. And behind this big glass panel right here, we've got more of that pixel-like design. In fact, Hyundai says of the design of all of their vehicles, it's like a chessboard. All the chess pieces don't look the same. They all serve their own role, but they very much go together. They look like they go together. And I would say that Hyundai is absolutely playing 4D chess when it comes to overall design. They have been knocking it out of the park, giving us bold, unique designs that look like nothing else on the road. And I think this IONIQ 9 is absolute proof of that. So now I do want to take you on a quick tour of the exterior of this one before we go inside, but you can see that parametric pixel design all the way across the front, and then your turn signals here, all LED lighting all the way across. And like I was saying, behind this big glass panel, really hard to see with all of the reflections, but there you can kind of see in there all the pixel design up here in the front. You can see all your ADAS sensors are behind this panel right here. Your front facing camera for your 360 cameras, very clean, very smooth front. For all you northern folk that deal in snowy weather, I am curious how this is going to work long term, because overall is very smooth front, including down here. These will open up to give passive cooling to the battery and all the necessary components underneath, but when it is not needed, it's very clean, very closed off and sleek. As we move around the vehicle, it is a boat-like design, and you will definitely see that as we move to the rear. But looking over the wheel wells here is a very interesting design element. This model has body painted fenders, but if we didn't, we would have a dual element, dual paint here. So this area is typically on lower trims black painted, but this will always remain body colored. It's like a little eyebrow that on the trims with black painted fenders give it a more squared off appearance, even though we have a nice clean round opening. There has been a lot of work done to sound deadening in this. We've got sound deadening here in the wheel liners. There's sound deadening in these tires. And I showed you the calligraphy wheels last night in our previous video. but these are a very unique aerodynamic 5-spoke wheel design wrapped in Hankook Ion Evo AS all-season SUV tires. I'm actually looking for the measurements. They are 285/45 R21, so we're seeing 21-inch wheels across the board. But there we go, we've got some of the models driving by us here silently inside the auto show. You can see, as expected, we get retractable door handles. Again, worried about that coefficient of drag. We do get some black accenting even here on this one. And can we give it up for the green paint? I love that green is back. We just got out of a green Alfa Romeo Tonale. Loved that green. I love that green as a color is back. We're starting to see it on more and more vehicles. Hyundai is offering various different tones of green and shades of green, even giving it to you on the inside. So that is very cool. As we pull around to the rear of this, this is that boat-like, boat tail rear end. I love how we've got sleek curving lines coming all the way back to this very blunt, flat back end back here. We've got all the necessary components back here, including a wiper hidden up underneath the tail lamps. And I will say, this is your stop lamp. For some reason, these do not actually light up here in the corner, but then you've got your stop lamps there, LED turn signals, all the usual suspects back here. We have our parametric pixels repeated down here for our reverse light. And then our controls, let's see, can I get it open? The model last night had a button underneath the queue to get the hatch open. Can I get this hatch open? No, I do believe I'm gonna have to go inside for that. So very interesting. Again, these are pre-production models. They are coming from the Meta plant down just outside of Savannah, Georgia. While I'm back here though, I do wanna show this off. Yes, it does open. It is native NACS charging. So yes, that is the Tesla plug colloquially, and it will support CCS charging with an adapter. That is the way that you can get the fastest charging. This has got the largest battery of any Hyundai product yet, and it has the longest range of any eGMP 3-row vehicle. So that is a very cool touch. They're targeting over 300 miles on all trims, but that obviously depends on whether you get the high performance or the long range. We'll go ahead now. I do want to show off one last design element here. This crease, this line here, is meant to evoke some of the garment lines of traditional Korean garments, just the way they overlap on the front breast. But as we come inside, very clean, very nice interior. Again, that chest-like mentality. And we see some elements that are very familiar across the IONIQ line, but we're seeing some unique touches in here as well. We've seen these door pulls before, but very unique buttons here for your memory seats. Very unique door cards here with the perforation and the illumination. Lower trims will have that ridged hard plastic like we see IONIQ 6, but very similar like door panel, door armrest here to IONIQ 6. You can see we get a Bose sound system, we get a multi-way adjustable seat with 4-way lumbar, and we get our relax mode. So that actually moves the steering wheel out of the way, scoots the seat forward, and will tilt it back and do all the fun things to make you comfortable. See, there we go. We've got the leg rest coming out and just giving you a full relaxation mode here while you wait for it to charge, which won't really take that long because you can go from 10 to 80% in record time, faster than your iPhone can charge from 10 to 80%. Nice little call out of the plus and minus button here on the pedals. Kind of like VW with their play and pause on their ID series. And then coming inside here, we'll go ahead and turn off the hazards. But you can see very similar to Santa Fe steering wheel here. We get the illuminated H and Morse code here. All your ADAS controls, curved dual 12.3-inch display, volume knobs, tuning knobs, HVAC knobs, tri-zone climate in this, I really like that. Interesting use of materials and elements and the way the light hits this. This is not the calligraphy, but still a very cool interior element here on this one. I feel very IONIQ 6, very IONIQ 5, but it is also its own unique thing here in this one. We get lots of charge ports in here, including 100-watt USB-C charging, so you can plug your computers into these USB ports and charge them up. No need for your charger brick. Really like that. Rubberized storage down here. More storage down here. We saw on the model last night that they have that UV cleaning light. And we have a movable center console. So like we see in IONIQ 5, you can move the center console forward and back. Nice Qi wireless charger with rubberized components so it won't move around. And I like how they raise up the actual charging element to help cool the phone as it charges. You get your different terrain modes here. With that quick access button. I love how there's no gloss black plastic down here. So that is a very cool design element. And then we get lots of grippers here for our different size American cups. A center console here, like the Santa Fe, has a removable section and a much lower section down there. We'll talk more about that as we move to the back seats. Let's go ahead and drop that down. And then for me, plenty of headroom at 5'10", very comfortable. We'll go ahead. Can I pop the roof? No, it's turned off, so I can't open that. But also like Santa Fe, we've got storage there. Very nice glove box there. So still seeing some part sharing across the brand, but in all the right ways. Now we'll move to the second row of seats. I've actually got plenty of room there. We'll move the seat more in line where I normally sit and check out the second row. I had a bench seat last night. We've got captain's chairs here in this model. I like that a lot. And then let's just talk about how massive this sunshade is for the back window. Very big doors for a very big entry, because not only do you have to get into the second row, you have to get into the third row, and we'll talk about that shortly. Again, same repeating design elements back here. 2 cup holders in the door. That is a nice touch. Coming back here, you've got your tri-zone climate, heated and ventilated seats, more 100-watt USB-C. You've got access to the center storage from back here, like in Santa Fe, and like in Santa Fe, that whole drawer pulls out. So remember when I showed you this removable section up here? Yeah, that's how you get to it from the front. So lots of storage options here in this one. I also like ceiling mounted vents that work very well for me. Really, really, really like the storage methods in this vehicle. Power operated seats here, which make it very nice and comfortable. So I've got a comfortable sitting position here. I'm actually going to climb through the second row so I don't move that seat out of place to show you. The third row is slightly cramped in normal configurations, but there is so much room in here that you can negotiate between all 3 rows to get a good amount of rear space in this. But I want to go ahead, got shocked there, hit that button, and you can see the power sliding seat does move up and out of the way so that you can climb into the back. This is why I didn't want to do that right away, but you can see back here, 2-person third row seat. We have lower latch points, which is a big win for families with kids in car seats. So they're putting the work in where it matters. You can see we still get HVAC vents up in the ceiling back here. So I'll climb back in here again. The floor is low, the ceiling is high. I still have a lot of room back here, even though we've got that tapering roof line. We also have reclining seats back here, power reclining seats, more 100-watt USB-C charging. I've even got that over here, cup holder down here, but you can see harder plastics as we move back to the back. Last thing I want to show you before we cut to me riding shotgun in one is the rear storage in the back. So I had trouble opening it up, finding the button, but there is a button right here says hold, and yes, we're getting that hatch to open now, so I can show you just how much space is back here behind the third row. If you'll remember, we just got out of the Lexus GX that had no space whatsoever behind the third row. Usable space behind the third row here in this one, and a couple of buttons right there. Power fold those seats, drop those headrests, and now you've got even more room underneath here for your charge cables, some additional stuff. We've got some power back here, some additional power back here, and we can also fold those second row seats down from back here because they are fully power. Even though I had that one already up, you can see it is moving into place to also recline like that. So tons of space and configurations in here for people, for stuff, all of your gear, all of your friends, all your mates, whatever the case may be. That is a quick tour of it, doing it as quickly as I can. Now, let's hop inside one that's actually moving because here at the LA Auto Show, you can actually do a ride along in them before we as journalists can even drive them. They've actually got two running right now, a red one, and I was in this white calligraphy. So let's go to that footage. All right, riding in the all-new IONIQ 9 here at the LA Auto Show. This is the only way to experience it thus far. So the public is getting a first look at the IONIQ 9 before some of our media presence, and this thing is quick. We are on some slick polished concrete here inside the auto show, but that's one of the benefits of these EV platforms. They're quiet, they're quick, and you can do them indoors without worrying about pollution and all the hazardous fumes coming from burning fuel. But I can say from being in other EGMP platforms, very quiet, very smooth, very polished, very refined. I'm in a calligraphy. It's very nice, very quick. Lots of power in this one, all-wheel drive from two electric motors. You've got all the battery from that, all the weight from that battery down below us. The biggest battery that they've put in a Hyundai product as of yet. It's the longest wheelbase in an EV from Hyundai yet. It's the biggest vehicle, hands down, from Hyundai yet, and that definitely translates here inside. I've got tons of room up front. We've got passengers back behind me, plenty of room for all rows. Very, very impressive all the way around, just with how refined they are. I've said it for a long time. EVs are very luxurious in what they do just because of that low weight, that low center of gravity, the long wheelbase, really helping work in conjunction with each other to smooth out the ride, and then its quiet, effortless power really make these great luxury vehicles, even if you don't get luxury specs like this calligraphy. But the calligraphy really is the way to go, right? I very much am looking forward to my first time behind the wheel of one of these. These are, of course, made here in the US at the Meta plant down in Savannah, Georgia, that we actually got to see firsthand as they were starting production of that when we were on the IONIQ 6 drive. So very cool that these are built here stateside, and man, they are just so nice and luxurious. All right, gearheads, there you have it. A first ride and another tour of the new 2026 Hyundai IONIQ 9 at the LA Auto Show. If you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you can follow along every time we post a new video. Find us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it, all at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. Links to everything, including our award-winning podcast. But as for me, from LA, until next time, bye.